All right, what's up guys? I've made a ton of videos lately about the DeFi hype. These are the most exciting coins and they're also the best performing, so it makes sense why I'd want to cover them. But I haven't done too much practical information on how I'm actually finding these trades. It's not something you see a lot of information about, and I figured I'd make a video about it because I think it'll provide some value to you. Now, the first thing I want to say before I cover anything, I'm not here to give signals, I'm not going to tell you to go buy this coin, I'm not even giving you a target today. I am going to give you the process though, and it'll probably give you some ideas about how you can implement your own process, how you can find your own trades, and if you're successful, maybe even book a nice profit. Stick around after the intro, I'm going to cover it all. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. I know my videos aren't going to do 10, 50,000 likes because I'm not giving you some $10,000 price target, but I am giving you useful information every single day that I think will benefit you. So stick around after the intro. I think you guys will enjoy this one. So one of the first things I've noticed in your guys' YouTube comments, I shared a podcast about DeFi at the very beginning. We were talking about yield farming. I just had a conversation with one of the sharpest DeFi investors I know, talking about where we think this trend goes. Is it a bubble? All those big questions. And one question that continues to pop up is, man, this information would have been helpful earlier. How do we find the next play? And it's a valid question. As I've been looking for trades and as I've been looking for investments, obviously I don't have all the answers. I'm not ahead of every single move. I wasn't in Lend. I wasn't in Compound when it reached $1 billion. I didn't even buy Link, right? But I have been able to find one or two plays that have done very well. And the way that I found it was this. One of the first metrics you hear about when you hear about these DeFi projects is something called total value locked up. It's the amount of value being locked in the system or locked in a protocol that's either used for lending, used for borrowing, used for automated market making. It's a very good measure of how many people are using or how many assets are being used in that system or what kind of traction that DeFi project is getting. You can look at Compound. They're at the top of the list. They have about $500 million of value locked up. You have Synthetics with $400 million locked up. Now, as you go down the list, obviously you're going to see less and less locked up, and that also corresponds to smaller market caps. I think this is an obvious relationship to understand. The biggest projects, the most successful projects so far, also have the most value locked up. So I wanted to graph and see if there was any other relationship and saw if it really was linear the entire way down. The reason I wanted to do that was I wanted to understand, are the projects with only 1 million or 2 million locked up, are these projects actually trading at much smaller market caps? Now, I think anyone would guess that they probably are, but I still wanted to see for myself, and this is what I found. So I chose these 10 at random. They're all on DeFi Pulse. They're the most known. You have Compound at the top. You have Maker, Synthetics, Aave, which is Lend. You have Balancer, Bancor, Loopring, Kava, Melon, and then BZX. And as you go down the list, you can see right here, Compound obviously has the most locked up, Maker has the second most, Synthetics, Aave, Balancer, and so forth. And you can see their corresponding market caps. Now, since I can't tell the future, I don't know what price is going to do next. I don't know if the market cap's going to increase next. I wanted to understand what is the cause and which is the effect of this relationship. I don't think the market cap or the price going up leads to more people locking in value. That just wouldn't make sense. That's backwards. I think the better way to think of it is if a project is getting traction in the DeFi space, then it leads to more price increase, then it leads to a higher market cap, right? Traction or users leading to higher market cap. It's like a business. If they do more sales, they have higher revenue. They have more interest, they do higher revenue. It would be backwards to say that a restaurant has more revenue, then it will attract more customers? No. More customers, more interest leads to more revenue. So understanding that simple relationship of if a project starts to get more value locked up, then it might have a higher price or a higher market cap. So if I could understand which of these projects is about to have more value locked up, then maybe I can get ahead of a trade. So the one that I singled out, I wanted something to be on Binance, I wanted it to be liquid. I looked at Kava, and I noticed as I scrolled through the Twitter account of Kava Labs and of the Kava founder that they sold out their 2 million locked up in like 30 seconds. He also said he'd be increasing the limits. I spend a ton of time on Twitter. I highly suggest that you guys follow some DeFi investors if you want to be trading and investing in this stuff to make your lives easier. And since I was following someone that retweeted this, it gave me a pretty good head start. All I had to do was understand when are the lockups going to be increased, and do I think more value is going to pile in on the next sale? Since this one sold out in 30 seconds, I think it's safe to assume more value wanted to get in than was already in. So this one's total value locked up was about to increase drastically. All I had to do was buy Kava, anticipating that happens. I shared this on Twitter on July 13th. It's probably the lowest engagement I've got on a tweet in the past few weeks, and this mostly confirms what I think about what's happening right now. A lot of people are not in. right? This is not a mainstream hype thing. This is only a trend for people that are focused on crypto with a ton of their attention, understand what's happening, and have the ability to trade and invest in these things, right? It is still very tough to do. The information's fragmented. It's why I've tried to put out a ton of information to help you guys. It's also helping me learn alongside you, right? So I found this trade. I said, look, if the Kava value lock limits continue to be hit in minutes while the market cap's neutral, it suggests a good value DeFi trade or a buy, right? So I bought some Kava. And now, since a week has passed by, you can see how that's played out. You have the price on July 13th right down here. And we've now pumped almost 57% is the price right now. It pumped over 2x, 110% in 7 days. Now, I do want to point out and make this incredibly clear. This is not the only metric to look at. And I even had a guest on the show, and he said, this is a little bit nuanced. Right? Just because a project gets more value locked up does not guarantee it's going to pump. I have to make that clear. I'm going to repeat what I did in the intro. I am not advising you to buy Kava, right? This trade for me is kind of done. I already took some profits. I am not saying this is going to work 100% of the time, but I do think it gives you a hint on how you can use this process or think about using some of the DeFi metrics out there to find your own trades. If I was able to do this in just a week of looking at these metrics and talking to other investors, you can too. Some of you are probably way smarter than me. Drop a comment down below if there's any projects you're looking at, any metrics you found to be helpful, or if this approach was helpful to you. But seriously, guys, this little metric or this little trick, right? Go to DeFi Pulse. I was able to create an Excel chart pretty easily. I mapped the top 10, top 20 coins or projects with value locked up. Then I looked which one is going to attract more interest. Are they upping their limits? Is this one getting a new listing? Whatever it might be. And Kava stood out to me. Just in 7 days, able to turn a nice 50 or 60% profit as I booked some profits today. And it was that simple. It's not always going to be that simple. It's not always going to work that pretty, but I wanted to give you guys a quick 5-minute video. It's practical. It helps you get started as you start to evaluate some of these trades. And maybe you can turn a nice buck if you find a successful process like this. All right, so one last thing before I end the video. I've shouted out Crypto.com because they sponsor these daily videos. They help me find the trades, themes, charts, and bring it to you guys, the information that you want. And because my Crypto.com debit card just finally got here in the mail. This thing is sick. You can spend your Bitcoin. You can earn interest on the crypto you hold on their phone app. Download it right down below. And if you use my link, me and you both get $50 free in crypto. So if you want to get started, I mean, that's the easiest $50 free you're going to find. That's a trade that works every single time. Click the link right down below. You get one of these really slick debit cards and you get 50 free bucks. Download the app. Thank you, Crypto.com, for sponsoring. And thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.